a prologue to battle in its truest form. Hope you enjoyed. That's fun. This is Sullivan Alice Gamer. You know, on The Legend of Korra, Season 4, Episode 11, Kuvira's Gambit. This episode itself, now that Kuvira is ready to march her attack on Republic City, now they have no choice but to evacuate the city. Even though it's going very slow, but after recurrences from Prince Wu, who's starting to finally act like a true proper king, even though he's a spoiled brat, I mentioned before, or he's willing to accept that the people who are his responsibility, he's willing to protect them. Hopefully he'll become a good king after a spoiled brat. And like I said this before, and I say it again, only through humility will this kid finally understand people. I said this before. You guys understand that. However, things are not as smooth as they think are. Even though they're preparing for Kuvira, it's not fast enough. And now that makes us believe Kuvira's new weapon is ready to mobilize. And it's not on train tracks. Trust me. It's not on train tracks. If you've seen about it's not on train tracks. It's a giant suit. That's why I said suit. Imagine a giant foot robot with a cannon on its arm. I'm gonna call it the Earth Empire Titan or Colossus. What do you think? Yes, but that's my the effect of that weapon is so devastating and strong. It destroyed an entire fortress, which is a lookout border, in just one shot. I mean, we already seen how devastating and destructive destroyed an entire town. Now, in the last episode. Now this episode, you gotta admit, this episode itself borders on the lines of freedom and warfare, because this episode is about Kuvira. Now that she has that giant mecha weapon with her, she is literally going to take Republic City by force, even if she has to give up every life in the city to do it, sacrifice anyone to keep her goals. But they tried their best to overwhelm Kuvira in the best manner. They tried, for example, they tried to kidnap Petard Jr. and President Reich, but however, things are not as easy as they seem. For example, as their weapons are being mobilized, they're not strong enough to think they can handle that spirit weapon. For example, President Reich surrenders. However, Korra and the others, they have a plan to the point where they have to survive. I mean, think about it. They can't let the city fall to Kuvira because she's a power-hungry war maniac. I mean, you have to understand this. Wow, but Kuvira and everything she's done, at first she was trying to unite the Earth Kingdom, but now she's turned into the Earth Empire to the point. And remember, this is just a prologue to the epic series finale we're gonna get next week. An epic prologue to the point, and I'm right. The series is gonna end. And we have no idea what's going to happen next. And this is just a fork in the road for what's going to happen and the outcome's going to be. And you have to understand that this is very, very, very epic series finale. Probably more impressive than, look at the high note. There was Korra. She'd been through so much. And she was poisoned and got to physical rehab, lost touch with her avatar spirit, tried to regain it, even tried to hide her appearance so she could find her own spiritual awareness. But in the end, and she found it again, but when she did, it's hard for her to keep herself focused. And even though they tried their best to overcome Kuvira and her forces, Kuvira is not going to stop at nothing to get to Republic City, to sacrifice any life, including her husband, Petard Jr. Like, he was her fiance, but she was willing to sacrifice his life just for more power. And I saw this in early in the episode, and they say they were ruled together, husband and wife. She had that sneaking smile, like she doesn't care. Like, there's a part of her that doesn't care about Petard, even though she has an entire army at her control. So why give up an entire empire for one man? So basically, she's become corrupt, a dictator, and a tyrant. It's literally probably one of the most dangerous enemies with that giant mecha suit at her control. We should have a vote on this. Which name do you prefer better? Earth Empire Colossus or Earth Empire Titan? What do you think? Because that suit is literally big. and with a giant gun on its arm, why shouldn't it be? You gotta understand what I'm feeling, right? You gotta understand what I'm saying, right? It's a very dangerous weapon. When was the last time you saw a giant robot in Avatar? And this is the first time you've seen one, and we've seen mecha tanks and mecha suits, but damn. Kuvira and her weapon and her Earth Empire are at the border of Republic City. They're getting ready to destroy everything and everything. And this episode ends on such a high note. You feel like you're on the edge of your seat, wondering, did they make it out? Of course they did. Remember, this is just a prologue to epic series finale that's going to happen next week. Thanks. We are still 1 week away from the epic 2-part series finale, and when that happens, it's going to be one nasty fight. Hopefully, and it'll end hopefully in some peace, and for the good. And Kuvira may be gone for good. But knowing the people and the Legend of Korra and there's people behind us, we're right now on the edge of our seats. You can't imagine. I know I'm not giving you much detail, but trust me, this episode is one to watch. Republic City is in danger. There'll be an attack. Kuvira's here. Her giant mecha suit. Earth Empire Titan or Earth Empire Colossus. What do you think of the name? I don't know. Well, her army is at the border. Yeah, she's going to sacrifice anybody, including her husband, Impatar, or fiance, and she's going to destroy everything and anything to get in her way, and she's not going to stop up at the slightest hesitation. She's cold-hearted and a dictator, and she's not going to stop. What do you think? Do you like this? Do you hate it? Yeah, I'll put the link down in the description. Watch for yourself. This episode is just one of 2 more that's still coming out next week. Remember, the epic series finale is next week. Give it all you got. Never forget that, because I'm not. And if the series ends on a high note, well then, that's the way it goes. Hope you enjoyed this fun science right. I'll put the link down in the description. Hope you enjoyed. This is Legend of Korra Season 4, Episode 11, Kuvira's Gambit, and she has one hell of a poker face. Hope you enjoyed this fun. Subscribe. Thank you. Signing off.